The internet is pretty much what you make of it. It can be a place of learning for those looking to better themselves, a way of keeping in touch with family and loved ones, or a source of unending entertainment. But it also has a dark side. Some people use the internet to be as mean as possible, taking every opportunity they can to troll anyone that they come across while safely hidden behind their keyboards. Then there's the mysterious side of the internet. Here, conspiracy theories abound, and internet sleuths jump at any chance they get to help solve a mystery, whether it's a missing person case, an unidentified animal seen in the wild, or a stolen laptop that needs to be tracked, and every so often, they are instrumental in bringing a case to an end. Number 5. One such mystery involves a fast food reviewer that's considered by those who have watched his videos to be one of the nicest people on the entire internet. John Jurasek started his YouTube channel called The Report of the Week on the 20th of February 2011, and at first he reviewed different types of energy drinks. He quickly gained a lot of followers on his channel and became a point of discussion on Reddit as well as 4chan. And he quickly became affectionately known by his nickname, Review Bra. But John soon moved from reviewing energy drinks to fast food reviews. These videos were shared to Reddit, and John's fanbase started to grow exponentially, with some of his videos on his YouTube channel gaining hundreds of thousands of views. He would also become known for a phrase that he used in one of his reviews, in which he samples a portion of Popeye's Cheddar Biscuit Butterfly Shrimp. After being unimpressed with the product, he stated, "My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined." And when another user posted a clip of the incident to YouTube, it was viewed over 400,000 times. Viewers fell in love with John's channel because of his honesty, calm demeanor, and the fact that he always wears a suit in every review, which is often conducted while sitting behind the steering wheel of his car. John seemingly found his calling in life since he became popular immediately after his first review. One would think that his life would be pretty much plain sailing from there, since it's almost unthinkable that someone would try to derail the life of such a likable person. But according to John, this is exactly what happened. In one review that he did on Taco Bell items, he mentioned that he was being gang stalked, which means that he believed he was being followed by a group of people, as opposed to one individual. He posted on the incident and said, quote, "I was gang stalked the entire time I filmed this review. I tried to pay the perps no heed, but it was quite scary." He then posted a follow-up video in which he describes a green van that can be seen driving past his car in the Taco Bell video. Upon review of the video, the van can be seen driving close by John's parked car. He says that the van followed him around the whole day, and at first he thought that it may just be a coincidence. But he added that when he was filming the video, the van pulled up in front of his car, and the two occupants started filming him with their phones, only leaving the area after he had finished recording and looked up at them. However, many of his followers didn't believe it, and as is the way of the internet, many people began speculating about John's mental health, stating that he may be suffering from schizophrenia, that he made it up to gain more attention, or that he was simply deluded. Then, in 2016, an anonymous user on 4chan posted a message that read, "Anyone want some rare review bras I stole from his house last night?" They seemed to take great delight in the fact that John had become paranoid following the message, and then added another message stating that they knew the route that John walked every night, and that his van was the one featured in the Taco Bell review video. It would turn out that the items stolen from John's house were personal photos, which were then leaked online. But this would turn out to be false. The photos that were posted were found to be digital in nature and were most likely taken from John and his family's social media accounts, rather than from inside of his house. The same person also claimed to have waited outside John's house for ages because they wanted him to do a review on some brownies, but it was soon discovered that the posts were being made from somewhere in Korea, and hence this person was nothing but an internet troll. Though no one could quite understand why they would target someone as likable as John. Concerns for John's welfare were further exacerbated when some of John's viewers noticed that he had a mattress on the backseat of his car, and further rumors were started. These included theories that he was living out of his car because he felt that he'd be safer there than in his own home. But John quickly put an end to these rumors by stating that the mattress was in the car because he had to keep moving. However, this only started yet another rumor that John was really being stalked, either by one person or a group of people, and that he was laying low for safety reasons. It would later come to light, however, that he was indeed living in his car at the time, but he created a post in which he stated that he and his family were still on good terms, but that he still had to move all the time. He added that he didn't want to divulge too many details at the moment, but assured his followers that he was doing fine. But people were still intrigued by the stalking situation that he claimed to be going through. On one occasion, he posted an update that read, quote, "Thankfully, things are better now in that regard. The whole issue happened in mid-2016, but I've been able to get past it and things are better now." John's YouTube career would suffer a few more setbacks after that. In November of 2019, he fell through the ceiling of his attic. He had to be hospitalized after injuring his head and tailbone, but he made a full recovery. He also suffered from dental problems after a dentist botched a routine cavity treatment, and one of his teeth was badly damaged. He also received dental surgery in 2020, after which his dental problems were over and he could carry on with his reviews as normal. But the mystery behind Review Braw's stalker remains unsolved. Was he really stalked by a group of people? Was it just one individual who, for some inexplicable reason, took a dislike to John? Or was the whole thing a figment of his imagination? We might get the whole story directly from John one day, but for now, it remains an unsolved internet mystery. Number 4. There are many parts of the internet that are not to be trusted. As with most walks of life, there's always someone who's looking to take advantage of gullible people, and many internet users have had their identities stolen, their bank accounts emptied, and even had personal information leaked for all to see. And so it's best to proceed with caution, and when dealing with a stranger online, it's always a good idea to take everything with a grain of salt. But every now and then, an internet mystery pops up that's just too enticing to ignore, and many people follow it with bated breath. One such mystery has come to life on TikTok after a user named Radiant Time Traveler, real name Eno Alaric, revealed that they are a time travel from the year 2671, and they claim to have knowledge of our future events, most of which come with a grave warning. Alaric claims that he arrived in our time in 2021, but he didn't immediately reveal his true identity since he was getting everything ready before letting us know what we're in for in the not too distant future. He claims that the years between 2021 and 2025 will be particularly difficult, and he's hoping that by sharing with us what is to come, we'll be able to change the course of our fates. The first of his warnings claims that the James Webb Telescope would discover a planet that is the mirror image of Earth, and this was predicted to happen on the 30th of November, 2022. Next, on December 8th, a meteor was supposed to collide with our planet, bringing with it never-before-seen metals and an extraterrestrial species. In November of 2022, the public was supposed to be given access to documents of the Antarctic Treaty, and we're supposed to learn what our true capabilities are. Also slated for 2022 was a swarm of hostile aliens that were predicted to be readying themselves to start a war with the inhabitants of Earth. This would be done by infiltrating our governments. Alaric then claimed that on the 22nd of November, 2022, a star would explode, and when the light from that explosion eventually reaches the Earth, it would light up the sky for the following few years. He also added that on the 6th of February, 2023, 4 teenagers were supposed to find a set of ancient ruins that would then be found to open a wormhole that would give us access to other galaxies. To end his first set of predictions, Alaric claimed that an ancient species of animal would be found in the Mariana Trench after an earthquake that should have occurred on the 23rd of March, 2023. And a massive 750-foot tsunami would decimate San Francisco on the 15th of May, 2023. Next up for 2023, a virus that's been lying dormant in the polar ice caps is released due to global warming, and half of the Earth's population is predicted to succumb to it, while others will go mad from the disease after their eyes turn red. Then in 2025, we'll have to resort to wearing oxygen masks wherever we go, due to the increase of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. But first, in January of 2023, larger versions of certain species were predicted to be discovered. These include a 1-foot ant, a 3-foot spider, as well as an 18-foot bear, among others. In March, the TikToker claimed that an alien that's known as the Champion would select 8,000 people, all of whom would be taken to another planet where they will live out their lives. In a later video, he stated that these people had now been selected and taken away by the Champion, and that they would have to travel for 4 years before reaching their destination, despite claims that the Champion has the ability to travel faster than the speed of light. The International Space Station would be the next to suffer when it's struck by a meteor, causing the space station to crash down to Earth. Next, a T-Rex egg would be discovered, and the biggest recorded solar flare ever would cause power outages around the globe for up to 6 weeks. But he also adds that this flare would have some unexpected consequences, since some people will be affected by it more than others, and they'll gain certain powers that include telekinesis and enhanced speed, while others experience negative effects from the flare. But these effects aren't specified. The following year, things only get worse. The supervolcano, located under Yellowstone National Park, will erupt and 50% of the US will be left in darkness due to ash from the volcano in the Earth's atmosphere. In another of the prophecies, Alaric states that in the future, humans will learn how to upload their consciousness to a virtual world where they will gain immortality. But to do this, we'll obviously have to abandon our physical bodies, and once the transfer to the digital world has been made, it can't be undone. Some of the other videos that have been uploaded to TikTok claim that Russian scientists will find a way to treat paralysis. 7 people mysteriously fall to Earth from the sky, and they're connected to an alien race known as the Distance, who are the true owners of our planet, this ownership being demarcated by the pyramids of Giza. One of the most outlandish claims made by this time traveler is that people will have the option to customize their children in the future, including the type of personality that they will have. Some of the previously unreleased classified information that he's released includes claims that military staff at Area 51 have been working on controlling the weather for a long time, and they've now finally perfected it. Lastly, Alaric gives us clues to the end of our planet. He says that when a massive earthquake hits, it'll cause the Earth's crust to open, and the hollow Earth theory will be proven when a team of scientists discover a civilization beneath the Earth that has technology far superior to ours. Although most people believe this is nothing more than a hoax, there are those who wait with bated breath to see if any of Alaric's predictions will come true, even though none of the predictions have proven true so far. But it's speculated that these events didn't occur because of his warnings, and that the course of history was changed before disaster could strike. Skeptics pointed out that many of his videos repeat the same prophecies over and over again, and that some of these videos were uploaded after the prophesized date had already passed, leading them to believe that this is nothing more than a ploy to gain as many TikTok views and followers as possible. And no one can argue that this tactic didn't work, as Alaric currently has over 450,000 followers on the platform, with some of his videos gaining over 1.5 million views. Only time will tell if any of his other predictions will come true. Number 3. Reddit is one of the most popular places to look for a good internet mystery, since internet sleuths flock to the platform to help unravel any strange events or puzzles that are posted to the site. Many of these include strange discoveries, for example, safes that are found behind walls in houses, or secret basements that no one has accessed in hundreds of years. But many of these end in disappointment when it's discovered that these rooms and safes contain nothing but air, or that the posts were fake. However, there is at least one Reddit mystery that enjoyed some longevity when a user named Delver of Secrets posted in 2012 that he was traveling on the New York City subway when a homeless man approached him. This may not seem unusual, but this man handed him a $50 note accompanied by a strange note containing a grid with a series of letters that seemingly had no meaning. Perplexed by the encounter, Delver of Secrets decided to ask Reddit for help, and amateur codebreakers jumped at the chance. It didn't take long before progress was made, and it was discovered that the message could be decoded using the Bifid cipher. But the $50 note also held some clues, as some Reddit users noticed that it contained markings that were found to be Unix code. The note and the bill were analyzed, and it was revealed that the message read, quote, "There's plenty more money to make. Figure this out and prepare to meet July 19th, 56th, and 6th hot dog stand outside Rue 57 Cafe. Ask for Mr. Input. Though the message had been decoded, it still seemed very confusing, and it seemed that this internet mystery still had some way to go before reaching a conclusion. And before long, this is exactly what happened. Delver of Secrets then added that shortly after the message was revealed, he received a private message from the homeless man that had given him the note. Naturally, he was skeptical and asked that the man prove who he was, which he then did by describing the backpack that Delver of Secrets was wearing when he handed them the money and the piece of paper. With his identity confirmed, Delver of Secrets asked why he had contacted him, and the mystery only deepened from there. He was given yet another code to decipher and found that it had further instructions. First, the sender stated that they knew how the message was decoded, and they didn't appreciate that other people had become involved since they didn't want strangers investigating their life. But the invitation to meet was now extended to everyone involved, and soon the second message had been decoded. It stated that the rules for the meeting had changed and Delver of Secrets was now to meet him on the 12th of July at 4 p.m. He was instructed to find the Blue Jay at 6.5 56th. Once that's done, Delver of Secrets was to tell the Blue Jay that he was the last. This brought a new fervor to the Reddit community, who were keener than ever to unravel the mystery. As is to be expected, many theories were put forward as to who this homeless man was, and who the mysterious Blue Jay could be. Some people remained skeptical though, and the prevailing theory was that it was all a clever marketing ploy. But speculation was still rife as to who the marketing was being done by. Others suggested that the homeless man was actually a member of the US Department of Defense, who was charged with finding new talent to bring to the agency, the message being a test of Delver of Secrets' skills at decoding. But the time and date for the meeting had been set, and anticipation was beginning to build. When the day of the meeting finally arrived, Reddit users swarmed a plaza at 6.5 and 56th. But they weren't the only ones in attendance. Members of the media had gotten wind of the story, and they too wanted answers to this perplexing mystery. Some people started looking through the crowd for someone who may be Blue Jay, while others walked around looking for blue objects that may hold a clue. Some of those that had gathered kept their phones open on Reddit to see if there were any updates, and they soon received news when Delver of Secrets posted that he would be at the meeting spot in 10 minutes' time. But 10 minutes came and went with no appearance by Delver of Secrets, and small sections of the crowd started to leave, believing that they'd been duped by a cleverly constructed hoax. When the group decided to walk away, it created confusion in the rest of the crowd, who thought that something was finally happening, and they followed the group to no avail. But just a few minutes later, Delver of Secrets finally arrived at the meeting spot to the delight of the crowd that had now been reduced from 200 to about 50. Delver of Secrets was treated like a celebrity, with people taking photos and climbing on nearby structures to get a better view of the original poster. But the fact that Delver of Secrets showed up as promised only solved a small part of the mystery, and many questions were being thrown around, one of which was whether Delver of Secrets could be trusted. The crowd told him to produce the original note that he'd received on the subway, and he quickly complied, causing the crowd to erupt with cries of joy. He then revealed that his real name is Ali. Some members of the crowd accused Ali of being part of a marketing ploy, but he maintained that he had nothing to do with the origin of the mystery, and that he was waiting for answers just like everyone else was. By this time, the crowd had been lingering in the area for so long that it attracted the attention of the police, and they started asking people to leave the area. The mystery had only progressed by a small iteration, and Redditors were left disappointed at not discovering the identity of Blue Jay. There was one more part of this mystery. On the 13th of July, Delver of Secrets added one more update to the original post. He stated that he had received threats against his family, and that he had been ordered to delete the post. He added that he was to relay the message that no one should show up to the original meeting, which was scheduled for the 19th of July since nothing would happen on that day. This is the last update to this mystery, and it remains unsolved to this day. Many Redditors still believe that this was nothing more than a hoax constructed by Delver of Secrets, and that the entire thing was just a massive waste of everybody's time. But there were also many who said they didn't care if it was fake, since they still ended up having a good time while trying to unravel this strange internet mystery. Number 2. Most of us have dreamed about finding buried treasure while walking on the beach or exploring the countryside. But they're usually just that, dreams. But what if you were given the chance to actually hunt for a known treasure? This is exactly what happened in 1982 when a writer by the name of Byron Price decided to start a massive treasure hunt that would last for decades to come. After reading a book called Masquerade, written by Kit Williams, Price felt inspired and he hatched a clever plan to bring these kinds of books to life. He had started work on his own book entitled The Secret, but before it was published, he had some work to do. He disguised himself in a construction worker's outfit and traveled to national parks all over North America, burying treasure along the way. Each of these 12 treasures consisted of a perspex box that was buried about 11 feet underground. Inside each of these boxes was a key, which, once obtained, would entitle the carrier to swap it for a precious gem that was worth around $1,000. Once Price's book was published, it was revealed that the clues to the treasure hunt could be found inside. These would take the form of cryptic poems written by Price and strange drawings that were provided by John Jude Pelinkar, a well-known fantasy artist. As for the plot of the book, it dealt with fictional tales of people all over the world who decided to immigrate to America, where they would attempt to make a new and better life for themselves. But it wasn't just humans that had this idea. A group of fantastical fairies also came to America with the 12 gemstones mentioned in the treasure hunt in their possession. At first, most people believed that the treasure hunt was in no way legitimate, since it would be a great way to promote a new book, but they couldn't have been more wrong. A year after The Secret was released, a man named Bob Roble decided to buy a copy of the book as a birthday present for his friend, Eric Gaslarowski, who was the first to make any inroads into the mystery. Eric took a look at one of the drawings in the book, and he discussed it with Rob as well as another friend called David James. The drawing was of a windmill, and they noticed that it resembled the Walter Tower in Chicago where they lived. They had a theory, but this was further bolstered when they noticed another detail in the drawing. They realized that the drawing also contained the outline of one of two horse statues known as the Bowman and the Spearman, which are situated in Congress Plaza in the same city, specifically Grant Park. They then took a closer look at the poem which was written next to the drawing, and it read, "L sits, and left beyond his shoulder is fair folk's treasure holder." They decided that the L stood for Lincoln, since a statue of the former president can be found in Grant Park. They then read the next two clues that read 10 by 13 trees along this way, and for finding jewel cask, seek the sounds of rumble, brush, and music hush. They decided that the first clue referred to a group of trees that they could see a small distance away. They then interpreted the rest of the clue as referring to a train, the Art Institute, and the Petrillo bandshell, which is located in the park. Using all of this information, they located a site in the park where they believed to be the right spot, and they started to dig. But they hadn't found the right spot, and after 6 attempts, they gave up, resorting to contacting Price directly to get some direction in their search. Price responded by sending a photo of the location, and when the friends finally found the right spot, they were not disappointed. The first of the treasures had been unearthed, and true to the promise, they found the key, which was then exchanged for an emerald. Another of the treasure hunts had actually started the year that the book was published in 1982, but it took much longer for any results to be had. Brian Zen was known to be interested in any type of mystery or puzzle, and while he was studying at the University of Pennsylvania, he came across The Secret and took an instant interest in the treasure hunt that it held within. He too was drawn to one of the illustrations in the book, this one depicting a centaur, which is a half-human, half-horse fantasy creature. The centaur held a chalice in its hand, and also depicted in the drawing was a set of stone arches. Deciphering the clues, he decided that the drawing referred to locations in Philadelphia, particularly the Liberty Bell. But try as he might, Brian was unable to unravel the clues, and he would only try again in 1997. By this time, the treasure was well known, and internet sleuths from all over the country were speculating on the locations of the treasures. When it was revealed that there is no treasure in Philadelphia, Brian joined an online community committed to finding more clues. When one user realized that one of the poems pointed to a set of gardens in Cleveland, he obtained blueprints, and upon their arrival, they found the statue of the centaur. The next piece of the puzzle read, quote, "Beneath the 10th stone, from right to left, beneath the 9th row from the top." They realized that this referred to a nearby fountain, and they finally found the location of the second treasure, which they then retrieved. Nothing more would be found until 2018, when the Krupat family, known for being puzzle designers, decided to try and find one of the treasures that they believed was buried in Boston. They focused on phrases in the book that contained the clues "the 18th day," "12th hour," and the phrase "lit by lamplight," which they believed was a reference to Paul Revere's Midnight Ride. They also realized that an illustration in the book reminded them of the statue of Christopher Columbus, which was located in Boston's North End. But they were met with dismay when they realized that the location of the treasure was under construction and they were unable to obtain permission to dig at the site. But 6 months later, the third box was unearthed by one of the construction workers, and the family was finally given permission to get the third key. Price, unfortunately, had passed away in 2005, and hence there will be no further clues given to the 9 remaining treasures, except for those contained in his book. It's a mystery that has endured for decades, and it's a near certainty that it will continue to puzzle treasure hunters for a few more decades to come. Number 1. A quick search on YouTube for paranormal videos will provide you with an endless amount of tales of ghostly hauntings, poltergeist activity, and other inexplicable events that have been caught on camera inside of people's houses. There are also videos that claim to show certain items that are haunted, such as dolls, Ouija boards that spell out ominous messages, and shadows that creep around corners when there's no one at home. One such item belongs to a man from Cumbria in England, called Sean Robinson. The item in question is a painting called The Anguished Man, and right off the bat, it's an item filled with mystery, as no one knows who created it in the first place. Forget about the fact that the painting is supposedly haunted, and there's a good chance that you'll still think it's rather creepy. The painting, which is done on a blue background, depicts just a man's head and shoulders, but his eyes are hauntingly dark, and his mouth is open in what can only be considered an eternal scream. Sean inherited the creepy painting from his grandmother, who kept it locked away in her attic for over 2 decades because she was certain there was something sinister and evil about it. She told her family that she had experienced some strange events in her house that she was convinced were connected to the painting. She would often hear unexplained noises in her house at night, accompanied by voices and sobbing that seemed to emanate from nowhere. She also spoke of seeing the shadowy figure of a man lurking around her house, and it's easy to see why she decided to keep it securely locked away. She also spoke of the artist who passed away not long after he completed the painting. She says that he apparently didn't just use oil paint to create it, but apparently mixed his own biological materials in with the oil, making it even creepier. And so, after her passing, Sean took possession of the painting and kept it in his basement, not thinking too much about the rumors that his grandmother had spread. However, he would soon realize that she may have been right, despite the fact that he didn't believe in the supernatural. Not long after taking possession of the painting, his basement was flooded and he decided to move it to one of the rooms in his house. This is when Sean's family started experiencing similar strange events in their house. First, they started hearing the same unexplained noises throughout the house, though they couldn't figure out where they were coming from. On one occasion, Sean was walking down the stairs in his house when he felt someone push him from behind, and it became clear to him that whoever or whatever was haunting the painting had only bad intentions. His wife woke up one night to find that there was a man standing by the side of her bed watching her, though she was unable to see who it was. The rest of the household also reported seeing the same dark figure that Sean's grandmother had, and Sean's skepticism quickly turned into terror. When the family started hearing the same moans and sobbing that had been reported by his grandmother, they became convinced that it really was haunted, and Sean decided to record a few videos that he subsequently uploaded to YouTube. In one of the videos, the painting is seen leaning against a wall, and in the background, strange noises can be heard as if furniture is being moved around somewhere in the house. Next, a door that's been left open next to the painting begins to move itself, and it eventually closes, despite everyone in the house being asleep, according to Sean. Lastly, as the camera keeps recording, something can be heard falling off of a shelf close by. But when the family woke up the next day, they found that everything was in its place as it should be, and they were unable to figure out what had caused the whole noise. Sean also mentions in his video that on one occasion, his wife was in the bathroom when she felt an invisible hand stroking her hair, and that she had seen a strange mist appear at the top of the stairs in his house. When he went to investigate, it simply vanished before his eyes. In another video, the painting is leaning up against the same wall, and the same strange noises can be heard, but then something even more inexplicable happens. At around 3:25 a.m., the painting suddenly tilts forward and falls over on its own. Upon viewing these videos, many people became convinced that it was indeed haunted, and they advised Sean to rather get rid of it as quickly as he can to protect his family. Others even asked if they could buy it from him since they were intrigued by it. In one update that Sean shared, he stated that he had to move in with his parents for a while and he decided to take the painting with him. Just a few days later, the strange activity started in their house too, and the same unnerving sounds could be heard. When his father fell down the stairs on the third day that the painting was in the house, Sean thought it would be better if he moved it back into storage, but he would bring it out again when a paranormal investigator named John Blackburn asked him to bring it along to some of the UK's most haunted sites. In May of 2013, they were visiting Chillingham Castle in Northumberland, where a seance was performed and the same shadowy figure appeared in full view of everyone present. When Blackburn started asking questions about the painting, a wooden bench suddenly started banging on the floor before flipping over completely. Blackburn became convinced that Sean was telling the truth about the painting being haunted or cursed. However, there are those that are far more skeptical. One paranormal investigator is convinced that the whole story is a made-up hoax that Sean created and that the painting is nothing more than just that, a painting. He stated that he found it suspicious that only Sean's family is able to corroborate his story, since it would be easy for a family friend to experience the creepy events for themselves if the painting was as haunted as Sean claimed, especially since it had been in the house for almost 5 years. He added that the video in which the painting falls over would be easy to fake by attaching a piece of fishing line to it, and then toppling it once the camera had been recording for a while. Others believe that the painting could simply have toppled over if there was a strong enough breeze blowing through the room. Another theory that's been put forward is that Sean's family was predisposed to the activity, since they knew of the tales that his grandmother told, and hence they believed that it was all in their heads. But Sean insists that he didn't fake any of the footage, and reiterated that he never used to believe in such stories himself, but since experiencing the paranormal events firsthand, he's had a change of heart. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up to date with all of our future uploads. But my name is Ty Knott, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.